I want to see more, motivation to use jump attacks. Like with
Yeah,
the Black Knife Assassin, when he jumps and he's about to strike you, you can actually jump and slap him right out of the air. I love that. And
yeah,
I want to see more of that.
yeah.
And
Hell
if
yeah.
you miss it, then you have a chance of getting affected by AOE attack.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
when you
There's a lot of beautiful things that could be done.
oh yes, most definitely. There's so much potential, and whenever I look at Elden Ring, I just look at it as something greater in the future that we can see. Even maybe with the DLC, they'll expand upon stuff that we missed that we were looking for in the vanilla game, and maybe they'll add to the vanilla game, and then eventually,
Yeah.
maybe if we get an Elden Ring sequel, maybe it will just be the perfected formula of what we have right now, and
That's my hope, yeah. I do see hope in that because Elden Ring, it had a rush development despite what they don't talk much about it, right?
mhm.
But even Miyazaki apologized in an interview. He's like, I'm sorry I didn't have as much involvement with this game. And I feel like it's because a lot of it was, Bandai Namco requiring this and that, and deadlines having to be met, and just him having involvement in other projects too, whether it's Armored Core or something else we don't know about. And it is what it is. But
He even
yeah,
made a
I think,
comment about. Oh, sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say, I do believe that the DLC, that's where it's gonna shine because even in previous installments, they have the rough development, but then the DLC is where they can take their time, they can make good quality content, and I think we're gonna get the best content for Elden Ring in the DLC. I think it's gonna be by far the best out of all of it. I could be wrong, but I really think that's what's gonna make Elden Ring what it needs to be.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna fix the vanilla game though.
I'm kind of hoping it'll fill in the gaps, but that's kind of high hopes. Just kind of gaps that where Elden Ring feels empty and unfinished. But like I
Yeah.
said, that is very high hopes. They'll probably just kind of they might just do the regular thing where they just kind of give you a distant land where you teleport to. I'm really hoping they don't do that again because we just see it so often. I just really hope they can really attach to the vanilla game, make it feel more organic. And of course,
Yeah.
you can always, there's you can still make something organic, and it's always been organic when it comes to the DLCs, but it's just always just been the teleportation thing. It's just it's a kind of a it's too much of a trend in the From Software games, and I just want to see something kind of like with Radon when you defeat him, an asteroid plummets into the Earth somewhere, and you go into a whole other area. I would like to see something like that because it's not your typical teleport somewhere. It's something
Yeah.
that you committed an action and then you have a consequence of that action and then you kind of just follow through with the world adjustment. And
Yeah.
isn't pretty much every DLC just a teleportation somewhere? Let's see, Dark Souls you teleport.
Yeah.
Dark
Dark
Souls
Souls
two
2,
you
they're all
yeah.
teleported.
Dark Souls 3 yeah, you teleport from the bonfires.
Yeah. And
And
then through a scrap of painting.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Bloodborne you also teleport from a tombstone.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
Yeah.
pretty much everything.
Totally random.
They really need to get away from that.
Yeah, I agree.
um, but yeah, yeah. I guess we need to get back. Sorry, we just maybe next time our next podcast we just won't have any questions. We'll just talk about stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah, because I could go on for way too long.
Yeah, this is just the beauty about From Software games is
Hmm.
there's just so much potential, and you want to see them extend as far as they possibly can with these great ideas that are not fully complete. You feel that I feel, and
Yeah.
it's amazing how upset people get when you have the slightest criticism about the game. They have, well, it's supposed to be like that because just From Software, I trust them and everything. I'm like, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust
No.
any developer. I put way too much trust in developers in the past just to be burned.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I mean,
Way too many times.
as much as I love From Software, I can't guarantee I'm going to love their. I can't. It's not guaranteed that I'm going to love
Yep.
their next game. And
Yep. Not
so,
at all.
and people just put too much. It's funny how people are like, oh well, developers they don't make mistakes. Like, what are you talking about? They're humans. They're going to make mistakes. There are many flaws in Elden Ring. Many that even if just many designs that I just disagree with, but it's just I ignore it and I move on. And I feel like there's a lot of things that a lot of people just don't learn how to ignore, and they just want to complain about it all the time. But
You
it's
know one of the
just,
main reasons why?
Hmm.
It's not even from a place of bad intention. It's not like Miyazaki has some bad intentions or even wants this outcome, right? When a company gets too big, you have too many people working in a project, right? Say I have a vision for a game I want to make, right?
Hmm.
My vision is perfect. I can have an incredible idea in my head that is thorough, everything connects, everything's wonderful, right? If I get one other person involved, my vision is compromised, right?
Yeah.
And I'll have to work with that person. They have to interpret my vision. If they're doing work on that game, either I'm going to supervise what they're doing or I'm going to give them freedom to do what they want, and I'm going to have a compromised vision, right?
Yeah.
The bigger your team gets, that expands exponentially, where different assets are being worked on by different people, and you have different supervisors working on different things to ensure that things are connected the same way, and then you have to set up different teams to work on different bosses. Maybe one guy's not programming every single boss because you just can't, right? There's too many, and you have not enough time. So you have different design philosophies going into bosses, and maybe certain things are supposed to be upheld just quality-wise, but that's it, right?
Hmm.
And with Elden Ring, it's too big. Like it's just too many. It's too many people involved. Even not just within From Software, but Bandai Namco, right? Like I can almost guarantee you Bandai Namco had a say in how certain things panned out, whether it was backstabs or anything, right? If something isn't visually presentable to a casual new player, they don't want it, right?
Hmm.
Backstabs in the past look glitchy and stuff, especially with Dark Souls Remastered releasing. They were like, no, we can't have that because everybody complained about Dark Souls Remastered and it didn't do that well, right?
Hmm.
As for Elden Ring, nobody complained about backstabs because they sucked. They didn't exist. And then they slightly worked them back in when people got used to the game.
Hmm.
It was a very deliberate thing. It was not an accident. They know what they're doing when it comes to programming their AI. And I found that to be a little frustrating, but that's what it is. I don't think it's From Software's fault. I think it's Bandai Namco.
Thank you for listening to this podcast clip. If you want to watch more of the podcast, the full podcast is in the link in the description, along with my guest channel name. And if you would like to guest in a future podcast, please contact me and we shall talk so we can discuss many, many topics, more to come. Other than that, have a glorious day.